In this video, you're going to learn my 5 tips for staying creatively motivated day in and day out. These strategies have made a huge impact in my life for the better and made every day more productive. So stay tuned to see what they can do for you. Tip number 1 is create a battle station. So what is a battle station? That is just an area that you can kind of call your own. So here I'm actually in my battle station. This is where I record videos, and it's also where I make stuff because I do a lot of that. You're going to want an area that you can at least use most of the time. You can call mostly your own. I know with family and other things, it can be difficult to claim your own space, but if you can set aside an area that you can kind of dedicate to being creative and to whatever you like to do, and then you want to kind of make that your own. So I've got like my tools here, I got all kinds of stuff set up around here. It's my space and it's easy to access everything. I've kind of moved in. And now the coolest part about that is that when you enter that space, since you've kind of set it all up and you use it for that creative activity and you stay focused when you're in there, you mean business when you're in that creative space, it helps you flip a switch as soon as you enter. You don't have to spend forever trying to transition as you would maybe if you were at like the kitchen table. So having your own space helps you flip that switch, get straight into your creative mode, and it helps prevent you from getting distracted because you know what you're there for, and that is what that space is dedicated to. If you want to learn about some specific tips for an in-home makerspace where you make stuff with your hands, I have a video right there all about that. Now that's just the first tip, and there's some really cool stuff to come, but before we move on, I just want to make sure you know that there are links, timestamps, and anything else that I forgot down in the description below, so make sure you go ahead and check that out. But if we're just meeting, I'm Eli and this is Maker Brain, where I help you access and implement your creativity, as well as give you all kinds of tips and strategy videos just like this one. So if that sounds like something you want to learn more about, your next best life decision would be to subscribe to this channel with this sort of big red button down below. So tip number 2 is create a music playlist that will lift you up. So basically, this is something you can take action on as soon as this video finishes, and music has this sweet ability to change your mood, attitude, and mentality, so it can give you a whole lot of energy and motivation just by listening to some stuff right in your ears. And when you have that extra energy, it'll give you more opportunity for your creativity to start boiling up and make it easier to spill out and use in all kinds of areas. The music I use is in a playlist that I call my Never Quit playlist, and I use this anytime I want to pump up or get more energy, even when I was scripting this video. So if you want to check out that playlist, it'll be linked in the description down below. Tip number 3 is to calendar block your time. Now this might just sound like a time management tip and not really a creativity or motivation tip, but it actually deals with both. Life runs on time, and if the only way to get to your creative activities is to push back your bedtime, then you're doing something wrong. Your creativity often comes at specific parts of the day. So obviously you could access your creativity whenever you wanted, but often you will be the most effective at specific parts of the day. So I recommend in the morning trying to spill out your most creative ideas, all those things that you want to remember right in the morning, and getting those down before you have all kinds of administrative tasks that you have to do. So create routines throughout the day, in your morning, even your midday and your evening, and those will help you stay more productive and motivated. So there's a book for morning routines that I'd recommend, and that is the Miracle Morning book. I'll link it in the description down below. When you calendar block your time, you give yourself the space to be creative without the rest of your day hanging over you because you've already committed to that. Other areas of the day. And if you're unfamiliar with what calendar blocking is, this is where you take one section of your time in your day and block it out. You take that whole section and say, this is dedicated to this one activity. And then the next area is going to be dedicated to the next activity. So for this video, guess what? I calendar blocked out time to prepare it. I blocked out time to record it. And I blocked out time to edit it. So all of those are already in my calendar, and that's the amount of space that I'm going to use for this. Obviously, life changes quickly, but you want to have it nice and set in stone as best as you can. I also have all of my school activities on the calendar, so I know exactly how long I'm going to be spending on those. And then if I have to go overtime, I have a little bit of margin time built in there, as well as I can adjust my calendar for the next days as I see what takes more of my time. So if maybe I get behind on my math one day, I can remove some of practicing drums and put the math in there. So you can easily sketch out your time and make it easy to follow while being the most productive you can be, because all of your day is being used to these specific tasks. And it's still important to rest, and that is something you're going to want to plan in there. You don't want to just force yourself to run 100 miles an hour the entire time, but it makes you much more productive and cuts down on that fatal transition time that can suck up so much of your day. But now let me know in the comments below, have you ever procrastinated? And then let me know, when you procrastinate, when it really comes down to the wire, do you work faster and more productively? Well, I definitely do when I don't have very much time, and calendar blocking almost forces that upon you without there actually being a deadline. So as that you come near the end of that block of time you've given, you start working a lot faster, because you know as soon as you get to that next activity, you have to go to that next activity. As soon as you start breaking your rules in the calendar, that's not going to really do you much good, and it's going to kind of break down the whole system. And when you start reaching the end of that time, you start working faster because you've forced yourself to use just that amount of time. And if you've set a goal for that amount of time, then you know that you have to finish it before the little red line on your calendar reaches the next activity. And you also know that at the end of the day, you have everything that will be done, so you're not afraid that you're gonna forget something because you've already thought of all of it. In the end, I recommend using a digital calendar like Google Calendar. You're probably already using it in some way, and that will help you easily block out your time. And then you can also have all kinds of different colors and reminders and different things to make it easy to set all of that time. Tip number 4 for staying creatively motivated is to connect with a supportive community. So there's nothing that will drain you faster than people around you who are just dragging you down and sucking your creativity from you. That's a bit extreme, but in the end, you want to find people that you can focus on, that inspire you and motivate you to do more. And this could be people online like YouTubers or speakers that you look up to, but it's also good to have people in your real life that you can focus on and be inspired by. And you're gonna have to invest a little bit of time or even money into getting into this community. Maybe you just have to go to a Facebook group or spend a little time surfing around or watching YouTube videos that get you motivated and inspired and educated. But in my case, for this whole YouTube idea, I have invested time into a Facebook group and a course with teachers that I really look up to and am inspired by. A supportive community is critical for staying motivated over time, and it can also give you lots of level up in your knowledge, so you keep leveling up your knowledge as you learn from them, and then that helps you continue to be creative because you keep having new heights that you've reached, and then you can now implement creativity on new levels. There's one more super powerful tip that I have to give you, but before that, cooler version of Eli has something he wants to say, so I'll let him take it away. So, the not so cool Eli was giving you all kinds of sweet tips and strategies, but when it comes to this part of the video, I'm simply the best because of how cool I am. And it'd be sweet if you were cool back to me by hitting that little thumbs up button down there, and then also hit the subscribe button so that people can see all those likes and subscribers and know this video is worth watching. See you later. Not so cool Eli, you can come back now. He paid me a lot for that spot in the video, and let me know how he did down in the comments below, and if I should have him on the show again. Anyway, the last tip number 5, is define and find your why. So your why is the reason, the driving force behind pretty much all your actions. And this is something that you dig deeper into and discover, and you can have more than one. So it could be simple things like, I want to finish this because it looks cool. That's kind of a surface level one. Or I want to do this because I can get money. Or what is better is if you dive a lot deeper and you're like, this is something that I want to build my future around. Or I want to impact the next generation and show God to the next generation with blank. And then you put your thing in there. So find your why, and that is your reasons behind pretty much everything you're doing, and why you're being creative, and why you should stay motivated. Like, why even do this? Can you answer that question? Let me know in the comments below your answer to that question, or just think about it on your own. Why are you being creative, doing whatever your passion is? Why are you doing that? That is your why. You get a solid answer to that, and that will help you stay motivated for a very long time. And if you want real results, you need a strong why, and this will help you stay focused through a long period of time, focused on what your goals actually are. So you'll get your results a lot faster, and that gives you a purpose and more motivation that way. And your creativity isn't really spread out all over the place. And often creativity, when it has a specific purpose or driving force behind it, when it's almost like walled in a little bit, is when it thrives the most, because you're forced to look at things in new ways rather than always finding the easier solution that might be a little off topic. So you need to find a strong why, and this is like guide rails around what you want to do most, and that keeps you focused on what matters most, keeping you motivated and creative. Now remember that knowledge without action isn't going to do you any good. And so I want you to take one of these 5 tips and work on it for the next 5 days. So that's 1 tip per day, and that's not even a whole week. Maybe it goes into the next week, but it's not a whole week. And you might simply have to be more intentional about something you're already doing, or an awesome first step would be to create that music playlist. Like I said, you can check out either Spotify or YouTube playlists of my Never Quit playlists that I use down in the description below, or go ahead and start making your own. That's an easy way to get started, and it's a totally awesome thing to have in your toolbox when you want to get motivated. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe if you got value out of this video. But if you want to see another video by MakerBrain recommended from YouTube right there, go ahead and click on that. And if you want to see that creative area tour, so my makerspace, my battle station area video, you can click on it right there. As always, I'm Tennant, this is MakerBrain, and God bless you.